Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of That Sounds Fun. I'm your host, Annie F. Downs. I'm so happy to be here with you today. Today, we continue our special brand new series called Build Your Board, a That Sounds Fun podcast series in which we want to help you find the voices you need to live the life that you want. I mean, in this world of influencers, you get to decide who is influencing you. So do you have that board of directors for your life? Sure, don't give them an official name, make them go to meetings, but the people who speak into your life really matters. The community you surround yourself with helps you grow as a person and grow in your relationship with God. We want to help you figure out who you need right now and how to find them. You're going to hear from real people who speak into my life and experts who you will love learning from. And we've created this Build Your Board Guidebook for this series. I love seeing y'all taking notes. I love seeing how much you love the guidebook to go along with this series. We are loving it too. There are so many of y'all who are doing the guidebook along with us. Now, you don't have to do it to listen to the episodes, but it is such a great bonus to go deeper into this content. So there are pages to take notes, and for every episode, we have a specific page and questions to walk through so that by the end of the series, you will have this completed resource. And we really think you'll be able to answer the question, who is the next voice I need to help me build the life that I want? So just go to anniefdowns.com/buildyourboard to download your copy of the guidebook. Before we dive into today's conversation, I want to tell you about one of our incredible sponsors. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Y'all have a lot of questions about counseling and therapy and if there's a difference, and we're actually going to talk about that in our next episode. But regardless, you know I'm a fan. Therapy has been such a helpful tool in my life, and my therapist is definitely someone I consider to be on my board. I'm a better Annie because of the work we've done together over the past 10 years. If you've never given therapy a try, consider BetterHelp, where your session can be done right from home. BetterHelp makes it so easy to get started. You just fill out a brief questionnaire. We love a quiz. And they match you with a licensed therapist. Finding a therapist that is the right fit for you is so important. And you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So you're sure to be working with someone who's a really good match. It's done entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and fit in your schedule. If you ever feel like your brain is getting in its own way, I get it. And like you know what you should do, but you can't seem to do it, I get it. Therapy will help you figure out what is holding you back. Be a good friend to yourself and to your brain with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/thatsoundsfun today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thatsoundsfun. Today on the show, we're continuing our Build Your Board series with four of my best friends, Jami, Kelley, Ashley, and Jen. You've met some of them before on other episodes, like the Hallmark Girls, like Enya Summer, like Summer Lovin', but I've never had all of them here at once. So this was a good time. Y'all talk to me all the time about how hard it is to make new friends as adults, and I get it. So I brought in my Nashville friends to talk about how our friendship started, what it's looked like to maintain friendships as adults with really busy lives, and what we expect from each other. This was really fun and really special, and I honestly learned a lot listening to them. And we talk about sharing our location, which is a real pain point amongst the five of us. So get ready for that. Now, you don't have to have the Build Your Board Guidebook to be a part of this series, of course, but if you do, you're going to be taking notes for this one on page 6. So here's my Build Your Board conversation with Jami, Kelley, Ashley, and Jen. All right, friends, here we're going.
It's already
I know. Already weird. It's going great.
It's
already right. Can we just start by going around and introducing ourselves? Say who you are. You can do first, and you don't have to do last name unless you want to. And when you moved to Nashville. Oh. And that way people can kind of connect your voice with your name as they're listening. So I'm Annie. I moved here in 2008.
I'm Kelley Kirker, and I moved here in 2004.
I am Jen Colquitt, and I don't really ever know how to answer this question. I came to Vanderbilt in 01. I started adult life here in 05.
You moved there in 01.
01 flex.
Yeah. I'm Jami Crockett, and I moved here in 04 too to go to Belmont.
Ashley Eicher, and I moved here in the greater Nashville area, a.k.a. Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
For college in, 98.
Yeah. Man, I am by far the latest of us.
Minus 2 years in L.A.
So
but
Yeah, you're the freshie.
I know. I was sad when you moved to L.A. We were in book club together, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry she's moving.
Hey, welcome to Nashville.
Thanks for having me.
Come here.
We're so glad you're here.
15
Welcome.
years
It's
later.
going to work out. It really is.
I like it here. I think
Yeah.
it makes some friends.
I think so.
How did we all meet?
Honestly,
I know this
Annie
is-
and I met through my old roommate, Holly.
That's right.
Okay.
Kelley, it just feels like forever.
Just knew.
How though?
I knew
know.
Kelley because of the Lauderdale girls.
Yes,
but
I
I
lived
didn't. I
with-
feel like I was like y'all were better friends before I. I mean, we knew each other, but like before I really was like friends with y'all.
I met you through Annie Parsons.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Couple had an
And that
Annie
was
date, and
yeah,
that was
that's right.
right when
Because
you got here.
I was
You were
working
at Local Taco.
I was working at Local Taco when I met Kelley. She came
You
in
were? Through-
with Annie Parsons.
I introduced myself while she was letting
Taking
me pay
her
for
order.
my taco.
Yes, that's right.
See, look how that worked out.
Did Annie and I met?
Through words, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I think I met you, Kel, at BFAB.
Yes.
Oh,
that stands to a
BFAB.
reason.
Still
I don't know,
Which
but
is
can
like
someone
a
write that
hip
down?
hop
I wanna- can we go to
Zumba for
that?
those
Josh
listening.
Wilson's wife teaches it now.
wanna go back.
The one that we
Somebody
used to
write
go
that
to.
down. We're gonna forget. There's a lot of things we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's recorded. We can go back.
Listen, Crane's taking notes. It's fine. We got
Just
it.
recording it. Then, I mean, probably, when did our homegirls text start?
I mean, it had
During
to
the
be
pandemic
almost
or before?
10 years
No,
ago.
but
Oh, no, it was a long
it
time
like
before.
Bradley was living here. At
Yeah,
the time.
that's true.
And it was sort of it
was like-
I
I bet it
felt
was
like there
8
was
years
a year
ago.
where we intentionally kind of merged
Yes, that's when I feel like I kind of
different friend
Yeah.
groups.
little yeah.
Well, I feel like it was like we were all the single girls.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
our 30s.
I think it
Yes.
actually started with the summer of the setup.
Yeah, that's right. We did
And
the
then we
summer of the
realized
setup.
we had these different kind of groups, and we were like, "Yeah, let's all."
Yeah.
hang.
I
And then
do
we were
feel
doing
like we all have separate
little.
friends outside of this group that we're
Yeah.
really close to. I mean,
Yeah.
we know each other's friends, but
Yes.
Yeah.
it was kind of like emerging in our
Yeah.
early
Yes.
30s.
Yeah. And I mean, originally the homegirls group text had 10 or so on it.
And it was like we were always doing birthdays.
Yes, we were always doing birthdays. That's exactly
We're all
right.
10 deep into it.
And people have gotten married and had kids.
Right.
And we're the 5 who have not gotten married yet.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of shifted that friend group.
No, true.
Yeah.
For the daily life thing.
Let's get back
Yes.
into the summer of setup. I feel like people would want to know what that was.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't part of that.
You
that
were?
was-
I was not.
It
no,
was,
that was a while ago.
I was not either.
It was Anna.
Oh, you were?
No. I'm glad we can
commiserate together. When did you sit and set us up, Ash?
Yeah.
And Lindsay.
If anyone wants to
and
set me
Lindsay.
up.
And
And
Nicole.
Nicole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lindsay, Nicole, and us. And my
I never went on a date that summer.
favorite.
I went on one.
Wait, you weren't set up, Jen?
Nope.
No,
we
well,
were-
the
so
goal
our
was.
goal-
Wow, you guys, this summer, the setup, I feel like has been a real big deal when
it's all
I hear
extra
about
of
it.
Nashville.
The best story is Kelley's.
Yeah. That's why Kelley has the legendary story.
It is my absolute favorite.
So the overarching statement is we decided we were all going to set each other up
Yes.
on a date. Like I would was a goal to set each person up or you
Each
just had to set
person-
one person up?
Each person.
Each
Each
person
one
person
date.
up with
supposed to be
someone they
set up.
did not know and it had to be a blind date. You couldn't tell the names and you couldn't look them up. You decided where they met.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, now go with yours, Kel.
And honestly, the overall like success or whatever of this experiment is very indicative
0.
of dating in Nashville. I'm sorry, because at some point we're all kind of pulling from the same pool. Because if your interest is a guy of a certain age who's a believer who whatever, like Christian Nashville is not super large.
Yeah.
So
Especially like a decade ago.
especially a decade ago. Great call. So I was very, very lucky and got set up on 2 dates, which were really fun. But I think probably the takeaway is if you esteem someone enough to set them up with a dear friend of yours, you should probably look into it some more, because both of the people that set me up went on to marry that man.
the one that you went on a date with.
So I have
Are now
been on a
happily
date with 2 of my good friends' husbands.
The dates set you up on.
Exactly. And oh my goodness, it was just so funny because I think on both dates they pretty much just talked about how great our mutual friend was.
Yeah.
And I thought, you're not wrong.
Yeah, you're talking about that other girl
So
a
you
lot.
guys should see about that. It was fun.
I mean, one of the questions people ask a lot is how to make friends as adults. But none of us have like a formulaic story of, well, if you go to this thing or if you do this thing. So when y'all are making new friends now, how are you making new friends? Do you have space for new friends?
I mean, I think it depends on the people, probably. Like, we have pretty full lives. Like, I'm always open to someone new and wonderful and great coming into my life, especially if we're like in the same season.
Talk
or
about
learning
your
from
on-site
somebody
group.
else.
I think your on-site group is a good example
So
of
special.
a new group that's really important to you. New, quote, quote.
Right. So, do we need to explain what onsite is?
You can, yeah.
Okay, so onsite workshops. It's like a week long, Well, it's a facility that's like an hour outside of Nashville, Cumberland Furnace. Annie's been there. Yeah. We both did the Living Centered program. It's like a week of therapy that they say is like a year's worth of therapy. And so you get there, you don't know who's going to be there with you. There's like 60 people in a group setting, then you get put in small groups, and it's intense group therapy. And so I showed up on the first night in January of 2019, scared to death. Walk in, which also tends to be with me working in the music industry, also tends to be when most of the people in the music industry apparently go. I didn't quite realize that.
It's kind of quiet.
Yeah. Okay. And so walked in, literally saw my friend Beth. And Beth's husband and I went to college together, Luke. But she and I would always do that thing where we passed, different people or pass each other at events and be like, oh, we should have lunch. And then we never had lunch for like the last decade. Yeah. And then saw each other first and both were terrified that we would be in the same group and talking about all of your deepest stuff. But anyway, got close to Beth. There were like 10 of us there. Because we went through that together, we've all lived a lot of life together in the last 4 years. Yeah. So it's been unique. Like our quarantine, we were all quarantined together, not together, but spent a lot of time together. Other than you guys, that's really the only people I saw.
Yeah.
During the first couple of months of quarantine. Yeah. So
how else do y'all make friends now?
I think the two places where I have met people recently that I've like then gone on to like get lunches or dinners is tennis.
Airplanes. Oh, sorry.
Tennis.
Story time.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
That's what that was a great interruption.
So well done.
I was like, well, we all have seen
We're
you
never
make
gonna
a
get
friend
through
on
all
an
this.
airplane. Okay, sorry. Tennis.
I think that's coming up when y'all get mad at me for not sharing my location. Tennis.
Jen, why is your face red?
Yeah.
And church, like women's events. And last night, even at my small group, one of the girls that's new in the group, she's been going to our church for 4 months. I think she's only been in Nashville 4 months. And she made the comment, I've just learned as I've moved around, I have to just dive in head first and like get involved.
Yeah.
And when I was leading the women's Bible study this summer for our church. So many people were like new to Nashville within the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And they all said the same thing of like, I just know I have to just start showing up to things.
Yeah.
And I really think that if you're new, I think that's the way to do it. But even if we had been here forever and I was like at a new church or wherever, you just kind of have to like.
Or if the women's ministry starts.
Right.
And you're like, well, I'm just going to have to make myself go and I can make new friends.
Yeah.
Jamie,
I feel like, a lot of people at the gym.
Yeah.
Like at Shed. Like I've got my little Shed fitness fam that we all became friends in our early 30s.
Yeah, I do think you have to be really intentional. I have a friend that does not live here in Nashville, but when she had kids, she just didn't have a lot of friends in the same season. And so she was like, I'm going to join MOPS. I'm going to, like, wherever she could find people that were in a similar place to where she was, like, she was really intentional to try and find new friends. And even she, I guess there's, like, she would, like, do, like, fast. Like, I'm going to have 30-minute coffee with this person and 30, like, just to, like, get, like, almost speed dating, but for friendship.
Yeah.
Well, I think even with, like, I always kind of joke that I like weaseled my way into this group back like 30 when I was like 30.
Because all that we call the best of us.
My closest friends had all gotten married and were having kids. And so then I'm like at home by myself on a Friday night because everyone I know is with their husbands. And it kind of just took me putting myself, being like texting Nicole or texting whoever and be like, hey, do you want to go get dinner? Like, which does in the moment feel like, they could say no. Well,
it's
you know
vulnerable.
what? They could have a plan, and that's okay. It's not like they're hating me. But there is, I mean, there is this like fear of rejection.
Sure.
The episode that our friends just heard on Monday before this one is with Al Andrews, and it's about loneliness. And one of the things he talks about is one of the toxic parts of loneliness is shame. Is that there's a loneliness that just comes with being a person. Like, we're all going to feel lonely. And then there's a loneliness that has the shame attached of, if Nicole doesn't respond, does she not like me? Or are they all eating dinner without me? Or did I, I have times amongst the five of us where I feel lonely and feel insecure. Do y'all ever feel that amongst the five of us?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. I think that's important to say because while we do this really well, we're also very human.
Yep.
And there's a lot of like, with 5 people, 3 can go to something, 2 can go to something, 4 to go to something. I'm about to be out of the city for 2 months and y'all are going to keep your lives and then you're gone for 2 months. At the beginning of the year. Do you have fear about being gone January, February?
I cannot wait to be gone.
Dude.
That would have been the opposite response that you wanted.
No,
But
I don't want to. I want you to tell the truth.
if I answer your previous question honestly, where you're like, do you have space for new friendships? I'm like, the limit does not exist. I love meeting people and new friends and old friends. And
your
whatever.
schedule also reflects that.
Yeah, it does.
You will mention people that you're like good friends with, and I'm like, I've literally never heard
that name. Never heard the name.
My old roommates will be like, random friend 4,568. But I will say, because I just enjoy that so much, I don't do a great job of creating margin in my schedule. So I'm particularly excited about being with family at the start of the year. One, because it gets dark at 4:30 and it's a little bit longer daylight.
Yeah.
In South
You're
Carolina.
also not, you're going to be with your family. You're
Yeah,
not going
exactly.
to be
I'm not
somewhere by
going just to
yourself.
be
And
in
Annie, you're going
isolation.
somewhere where you have
Yes,
some
that's
friends,
a
but
great
there
call.
will be
Mostly alone.
some space alone. And I think that feels
Great
different.
distinction.
Yeah.
Jen, why don't you share your location with us? Because this is a real point of contention.
It's like asking in a courtroom.
We're just waiting to do this publicly.
Yeah, we have to have it recorded.
Like, you
should
knew
we
this was
describe?
coming.
Should we describe first? I mean, like,
Yeah, most of
set
us,
it up.
share our location with each other. I will
Find
share
my
my
friends.
location,
This was a
honestly,
new
with
thing.
anybody.
They recently
just
y'all
happened. Well,
said
We all also live alone.
Yeah, all five of that. I think that's an interesting part of this, is that all five of us live alone.
Yes, and if you like to go on dates with virtual strangers, well, actual strangers,
Or just hike
we
parks.
prefer
Yeah,
to
yeah. I was gonna say, I spend a lot of
exist.
time alone.
Yeah,
in
both
the-
of you,
in
or
the
I guess
woods.
all three of you spend a lot of time in the woods.
That
Because you hike in the same place.
My
the
thought
only
is
place
I'm
I'm
wearing
safe
my
from.
Apple Watch. I have an AirTag in my car. I have an AirTag in my purse. I have.
But all that goes
all
to
that
your
connects to
phone.
you, Jen.
That doesn't go to anybody else.
If I disappeared, y'all could get into my stuff, or my mom could get into my stuff and see where my locations
You're
are.
not
So
I
actually,
will
we're not
say-
actually called Susu. We're like, Susu, where's her air tag?
when I
What's your
went,
phone code? We don't
When
know where
I-
the phone is.
when I went to my solo adventure in Delaware, I did share my location temporarily.
You did.
Because I do watch enough true crime and Dateline to know that that was an important part. And I can see, like, if you're going on an app date, turn it on.
Yes.
But I just don't feel
Generally
the need to
speaking.
have, like, I think it's my, like, independent, strong-willed part of my
It's a
personality
boundary.
that's like, I don't want everyone to know where I am.
No, it's a boundary
I don't
for you.
need
That's fine.
people to know where I am.
See, I'm independent of. I'm like, you can know where I am. Doesn't mean I'm going to change where I am, but you can know where it is. Good luck, Godspeed. So that's my independence. Is the opposite side of that.
I think it's more of like,
I'm a mix.
there's
I'm a
some
mix.
people in this room that have admitted to, like, just watching the AirTag.
I don't just watch. I just make sure everyone's okay once a day.
Eddie, you literally
don't
said,
watch.
I watched your all's Where Find My Friends, and we were like, what?
No, I just meant that meme I sent y'all, the guy eating cereal, watching you
Watching
drive, the
his
person
friends.
drive. I genuinely don't do that. But I do, like, when someone is on a date, I do, like, you did the same to me the other night where you're like, well, she's still there.
I did.
We
I
know
looked
where
at
she
her
is.
as well.
And I get in my car and there's Marco Polo's and you're like, well, we all checked her location. She's still where we left her.
I mean, when Jen was in Delaware,
Yes.
and it got to be about 10 o'clock, and we
Yes.
hadn't heard anything.
I
and she
appreciate
was-
you.
and
And I
we could
did.
see
If
her
you looked at my location, I did look like I was in a very sketchy place.
So we were
I
just
was-
a tiny bit
I was
concerned.
literally texting Kelly. I'm like, okay, it looks like they're walking down a boardwalk.
yeah, to be honest, you know who watches
I know,
is
but I was gonna say,
actually Iker.
It was for that hour that I was like, she hasn't responded to text. We haven't heard from her on Marco Polo.
Yes, yes.
Is she okay?
Meanwhile, the whole
Which
time
I
I'm
did
responding
respond
with,
with
"Go,
a
girl.
text, I'm alive."
Hope it's great. Hope you kiss." Meanwhile, Ashley's like, "Oh no, girl."
Well, you know, I watched a lot of Law and Order SVU, so I'm just.
Also, to be fair, I think one of the advantages of us and all of us living alone and not being married yet is who else would notice if I disappeared for a day, right?
That's true.
Like there was one day.
I mean,
where we
none
had
of our
heard-
parents live in town, so it's
Right.
not like,
That's
yeah.
true.
Right. I mean,
What
there
was
was a
it?
day when we didn't hear from Kelley all day, and we all are human bodies that could have medical things. It's like,
Yeah.
well, if Kelley is sick and none of us know, and she can't tell us, where is she?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Hey, girl, sorry, I'm at Barbie."
That was it.
Yeah, she was. She was.
Yes, she was.
She was at the movie theater.
I just get a little
serious
scared
human.
sometimes. So, Jen, I
get
understand
it.
that it feels like a lot to share with me.
Kelley,
but I wish
love
you
that
would.
dropped in that. I love Kelley dropped in that.
She just
Hope
likes to
your
do a
kids
nightly
said-
check and put everyone in bed. Are
I
you
like
in
to check
bed?
on
Are
you guys
home?
and Britney Spears. Those are the
It is.
women I check on before I go to bed, and then I go to bed.
She does do a daily check of Brittany.
I just check on her at night.
Oh my
I just want to
Still
see
don't
how she
understand
is.
why, but
I
it's
know. I
fine.
just same with Find My
Can't
Friends.
look away.
I just need to know that everyone's home.
Yeah.
I just need to know you guys are okay.
I get it.
Okay, so when we're thinking about this, Jen, so is that a no? I just want to clarify.
It is
circle back.
Before God and everybody on
I
this
am
podcast.
open to sharing my location when I'm going on a date with a stranger.
Seasonally, okay.
But I do not see myself sharing my location as just a 24/7
Sure.
everyday life.
Sure.
Raise your
And
hand if you
everyone-
can abide by that boundary.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm the
only
only
one.
one. Oh,
Everyone can
Jen's
have
boundary.
I don't care.
Yes.
Well, no, I mean, people just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Follow your heart.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I will Marco Polo if I'm going to hike
Yeah.
like 6 miles by myself.
Yeah,
when
you
I
do
start,
tell
I'm
us.
like, hey, I'm starting this hike because I'm
love
way up in
that.
the woods, and I'm like, hey, I'm at mile 2.
You know how that could be easier? You could just share your location, then you don't even have to tell us.
You know what? Ashley, I support it you completely. Thank you,
Jen.
And I've also done the Marco Polo.
That
like,
is
just
one of my
checking in.
favorite things about us. That I think I said this to y'all a couple of weeks ago, but when you were talking about hiking, I like when friend groups influence each other. And I feel like I think more about exercise because all 5 of us exercise. Like very often we're talking when we're sweaty.
Kelley said that last night. Was
you?
it? Was that the night you said you inspired me and you went out on a walk?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are there other things like that amongst us or amongst your other friends that you think this kind of, because my friend does this, I think about doing this?
Well, okay, this is going to seem totally brown nosy, but I listen to read the Gospels every day, and that's influenced me in a beautiful way because I spent way too long of a season not being in Scripture, so I'm grateful for that. And then it's always really fun to recap dates together and giggle.
That is true.
Yeah.
I'll stop there.
Anything else stand out to y'all about influentialness over each other?
Feels like it's just kind of a safe space.
I mean, it will get me going because I could be in my house alone for a long time
Yeah.
if I wanted to. And so they're like, "Are we going to dinner?" I'm like, "Okay."
I
Like
guess I
it wouldn't have
gotta
occurred to me in and of myself, but if everyone else is going, sure, I'll go eat Mexican food.
To eat outside of the house.
Yeah, or just to leave the house and to do anything, or
Instead
like
of just
'cause
making
I
a
could
meal of
easily
night
spend a
toast.
whole weekend by myself, not seeing another person.
Right.
It just doesn't really cross my
Oh my
mind.
goodness.
You like alone time though. Like you sort of thrive at time. Like
Totally, and I don't.
reboot.
Again, it doesn't cross my mind, so it doesn't like ping me, and so it just gets me with other people.
I mean, I think too, and like the influence of, I mean, I don't want to say hold each other accountable, but also being like, is that your wisest life choice? Like, did you really go on a date with that guy? Like, what's happening here? I mean, like being able to speak truth into each other's lives, which is sometimes very uncomfortable, but you know, you still try and do it. And you've got 5 very strong personalities. So that part of it can be
And you're going to get a range of
a
responses.
range
And
of
we're
answers and responses.
I mean, there's a lot that we're very similar, but I do think of all the like, if you look at my friend groups from like different seasons of life, like this is the most, like none of us grew up in the same state. None of us went to the same kind of college. I mean, some of y'all go to the same church, but we go to different churches. We have different friends outside of each other. We have very different jobs.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like, to your point of like different perspectives and different, and not that we
different life experiences. We
life
definitely have a different
experiences
life
and like
experience.
we vote differently and we prioritize different things and we've chosen different like boundaries for ourselves for different things, but we can hold each other
You're right.
accountable and be honest and like value the other person's opinion without feeling like I have to agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or judged or anything.
Yeah.
It's great.
I mean, I think our political differences are interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
Yeah.
that's an interesting part of this because I don't know that people would assume that because we do still say what we think in general. I mean, I don't feel myself holding back on that very much. We still say what we think, but we also kind of let each other vote the way you want to vote. And it doesn't seem to drive our friendships in or out.
No.
Which is unique in this day and age, honestly.
Well,
I
it
feel
allows
like
you to
it's-
realize that like just because this person's voting this way and this person's voting this way doesn't mean they don't care about the same issues. They might be prioritizing an issue differently or
Great
they
point.
might have a different idea of how this problem gets solved or whatever, but you know the humanity of the other person where you're not like, this person's not evil or
Right.
my enemy and I think in this day and age,
We can all
people's
benefit from
rational
that.
thought has seemed to leave the building a lot.
Just like it ran away somewhere.
Yeah, it's just not available.
Yeah,
It's not available to it.
unavailable.
Hi, friends. Just interrupting this conversation to share about one of our amazing partners, Hiya Health. This one is for my mini BFFs. Okay, I know when you mention taking vitamins to your kids, people start rioting, but this is where Hiya Health is coming to your rescue. They're the pediatrician-approved, super-powered, chewable vitamins that actually taste good for kids and are good for them too. While a lot of kids' vitamins are filled with 5 grams of sugar and can contribute to a variety of health issues, Hiya is made with 0 sugar and 0 gummy junk. Yet even the picky eaters approve. Hiya fills in the most common gaps in modern children's diets to provide the full body nourishment our kids need with a great taste they love. Hiya is pressed with a blend of 12 organic fruits and veggies and then filled with 15 essential vitamins and minerals, including vitamin D, B12, C, zinc, folate, and many others to help support immunity, energy, brain function, mood, concentration, teeth and bones, and more. Hiya is sent straight to your door so you don't have to worry about another thing on your shopping list. And your kids get to decorate the bottle with these really fun stickers, which are so cute. We've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. You get 50% off your first order. So to claim this deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/thatsoundsfun. Go to hiyahealth.com/thatsoundsfun and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. Okay, now back to our Build Your Board conversation with Jami, Kelley, Ash, and Jen.
That sounds fun.
Marco Polo. Let's talk about,
Let's discuss how we're all on a family plan. And that's the only reason it works, because we can double
right.
time.
We can double time.
baby.
Yeah.
Some of us get long-winded.
Yeah.
Last week, Amanda was like, y'all are like really on Marco Polo all the time, aren't you?
I mean, yeah.
That started in the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Was that 2020?
My sister got me hooked on it, and then good gracious. I spend probably the most time on that app.
I mean, I just like that I can drive and talk and not have to like look at it or text.
Yeah.
And see people's faces.
I mean,
And
it
you
still
can
could get you pulled
respond
over.
when
It might have gotten me pulled over 2 weeks ago, but it's fine. It's fine.
I was driving next to a cop while I was talking to y'all on Marco Polo this morning, and I was like, Ashley's gotten pulled over for this. Am I going to get pulled over for this?
Well, no, just like that you can respond when you have time to respond.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, it's FaceTime at your leisure.
Unless you're Kelley and don't respond the entire day, and then we're going to ask
Then
you
we're
for
going
it.
to need to know where you are.
I love Marco Polo, especially because there's just so much nuance in. It's not, Voxer's nice because you can hear someone's voice. That's a step up from texting or something. But no one's on Voxer, or not really,
Or like voice memo,
yeah. And so there's just so much helpful about being able to see someone's facial expressions and really get to feel like you've connected.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
To Jen's point, it makes me think of that like Brene Brown quote, people are hard to hate close up, so lean in. Sitting down with someone in a face-to-face conversation and even talking about politics, which can be highly contentious.
Especially when talking about
It's like, again, seeing someone else's humanity, totally a little different than Marco Polo, but it's like exactly what I thought about as you were saying that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm rereading that book, so.
Which one?
Braving the Wilderness.
Oh,
That I pick up like once a year.
yeah. You do love Brene Brown.
Woman changed my life.
Oh. I think one of the interesting things about Marco Polo is it seems to be a thing that women our age use. Whenever I talk about it in front of younger people, they don't.
They all FaceTime.
I have some high school, my friends' kids, but we don't Marco Polo like talk as much, but they use it to do seconds. Did you know that Marco Polo has this?
What?
Yes, like
A 1 second thing. And so it's like
stories.
Yes, but they're really short. And so I have 2 little teenagers that will send me their seconds, and it's usually from like the high school football game or.
I just wonder if it's something unique for our age, like grown-up demographics versus just because we don't see each other. I mean, I haven't seen you, Jen, in person
Oh, interesting.
in a couple of weeks, probably.
Do we think it's like the old person Snapchat?
But I also think
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering.
I mean, I prefer not to use it in that terms.
for like our
Is this
age.
my mom and Facebook?
To the point of like my friends that I like, there's 2 girls that used to be in my Bible study that now live. One's in Wilmington, North Carolina, and one is in Birmingham. And starting in COVID, we started a Marco Polo group talking about all the true crime that we were watching and listening to. And now it's evolved into like, we just talk about whatever. But they both have one has 4 kids, one has 2 kids. There's never going to be a time that we can
Sit and have
like
a phone
face
date.
to face, like
Right.
would be
Yeah.
really hard. But I still get to see their, like they can Marco Polo whenever it's convenient. And it will not be like we do, like some days we'll all be on it kind of at the same time. But it may be like I say something, Ryan says something 2 days later, Julie responds to both of us a day later. Like, and it's just as a freedom to
have a life.
if you're that busy.
Yeah.
Which I think it's different.
See more people than
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're thinking about our friends who are listening to this and they're thinking, I wish I had a friend who checked on me when I was at the Barbie movie, or I wish I had someone to go on a walk with.
Yeah.
If y'all moved away, and had to start making friends again, how are you going to do? Yeah. There's a way to move in town, Kelley. I get it.
You're not allowed to move out of.
Yeah, you have to move out of town. We might have to tell that story. How would y'all start? Because y'all are all very good friends. How would you start over if you had to start over?
I do think about this occasionally.
I hope that I would do my friend Anna Kate, who lived here. Her husband went to Owen Business School. You know Anna Kate.
Sweet Anna Kate.
So they were only here. I mean, she knew she was only in Nashville for a few years because it was just for her husband in grad school. And her like motto was, I will not say no unless I already have something scheduled. She was like, it's not going to be because I don't want to do the thing or anything else. Like I'm tired, whatever. And so it was unbelievable how quickly, because she would always, like, as she met people in our group that, like, her husband was in class with people we knew, like, she just became a part of our group so fast because she was just always willing to come. And, like, she would also reach out and be like, hey, let's get lunch or whatever. And I think, like, we miss her, and she was only here for
That's how it was with Amanda, too.
period.
Amanda that lived with me.
my gosh,
was here for 2 years, but she jumped right in. And it's like, oh, I
Yes.
wish Amanda was still here.
And like these girls that I meet at church that are like, I moved to Nashville 2 weeks ago and I just like came to church on Sunday and they said there's a women's Bible study, so I'm here. Like I would hope that I would have the courage to just show up and say yes to stuff.
If we can keep using Anna Kate as an example. Yeah. She knew my sister in South Carolina, so we got connected. So I think that there is some element of like, hey, if you know a friend who's moving to a city, like make a connection. Right. You never know. That's happened so many times here in Nashville. And then also Anna Kate is just the friendliest. Like it makes such a difference to show up in a space with a smile, not on your phone, but like looking around, present. And yeah, my lasting impression of Anna Kate forever is just going to be a huge smile. That and the fact that she's the only person that's ever come to my house and brought bread and butter for dinner, but she made the butter.
What?
Made the butter. I'll never get over it. Never. Yeah, she's gifted. So maybe just like learn to make butter and
that's
make friends.
That's what we brought you all here to say.
We
Learn
can
to
end
make
this
butter.
podcast.
We can wrap butter. We can
Get a bread maker. Get a bread maker.
Jamie, what would you do if you had to start over?
I mean, I do. I think you just have to like put yourself out there. Is there a sport that you like? Is there a church thing? Is there a community event? Kind of just have to say yes. I mean, you've talked about this when you moved to Nashville. You did the same thing. You just say yes to everything.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of terrible for my introverted heart, but I would do it.
And like deciding that you'll say yes to, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday opportunities or something just to kind of ease in, especially if your soul just like needs a break.
Yeah.
And everything won't be a success. Because I think about, I went and stayed out in Hawaii winter of 2021. And a friend who lived here in Nashville said, oh yeah, this guy that I know, he's living there and you should meet. And we spent 40 minutes and we're like, let me know if you need anything, and then never saw each other ever again. And it wasn't like a romantic thing. It wasn't
a
a
love
friend thing.
connection.
No, it
or
wasn't
a
even
friend
that. It was just
connection.
kind of friend. We were both like, okay, so you can also do that, and it cannot go well, and you can keep trying again.
Yeah, you're not going to be best friends with everybody.
Totally.
Yeah.
For sure.
What about you, Iker, if you had to start over?
I mean, I would all the things that I would enjoy, I would just find ways to do. So whether that's like going to work out, finding like different gyms or yoga or whatever to go to, getting outside and hiking. As I passed the cute guy on the hiking trail yesterday.
You just say hi to every person you see on the trail.
I know. That's
could
what
actually
that's
join
what
a
I'm going to
tennis
start doing.
team.
Then maybe I'll actually talk to the
It
cute guy
goes
on the trail.
So far.
Your triceps are stronger because you did some dips waiting on him to get back around
Sure
yesterday.
did. I didn't see him.
She's witnessed a wedding,
An engagement.
I saw an engagement at Radnor, too.
A lot happens at Percy.
Yeah, I've stumbled into a couple prom pictures in my day.
Oh, for sure.
sure.
Sunset right now is really hot.
so
though.
Yeah.
You see celebrities
celebrities.
It's about to be
I do
fall
see
family
people
photo
all the
time
time.
I do
at
see
Percy.
different celebrities that I won't name for their privacy. Yeah. No, the running joke is for the last 3 or 4 weeks on this one particular trail, I keep passing this one guy at the same time of day with his dog. And I'm like, this guy's cute. I don't think he has a ring on. And so I keep telling them, but we just be like, hey, and keep walking.
We
So-
haven't ran together. Do we need to go together and I can wingman you?
Well, then we're going to have to do the long trail. That's what you and I always do.
I know, I'm saying I'll do the short trail if it'll help.
This is just the short loop.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
I'm
see
saying
Jam.
I'll do the short.
Excuse me, sir.
Wing woman you on the short trail.
Are you in fact?
Yeah, we don't have to do the long trail for wing womaning to happen.
I mean, we can.
Okay, great.
I think
I'm in.
I think smiling at strangers, it sounds so ridiculously simple, but I think it communicates confidence and like openness.
Just
even
eye
something as
contact
silly-
in this
eye
day and
contact,
age.
It's so rare for someone to enter. I mean, think about it. The last 10 times I've walked into any building, I don't care what for, even today, like going into this tire place, instead of being on my phone,
Right.
I'm not whatever my face. I feel like I often am smiley, but I am trying to not be on my phone, trying to like look around the room and just be present, and that makes such a difference for at least like instant
Yeah.
connections. But
And
then,
it makes a difference in how you feel.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I did just see a TikTok video about a guy saying a girl was way more attractive because she held eye contact with him.
Ooh,
And I was like, I feel attacked.
and I feel confused. I love eye
So I
contact.
got attacked on TikTok. Let's keep moving on.
Tell us about your feelings.
Exactly.
What are some things that we all like? What are some interests we all share?
Mexican food.
Dobird.
Mexican food.
What if it's all food?
For sure,
Travel?
Dobird.
Just kidding.
Yeah, travel.
Adventure.
We do like, is Hawaii the only thing we've all done?
Nope, Shania.
Oh, yeah,
Vegas.
Vegas.
I was gonna say Taos because we've all.
I have
been to
never.
different- You haven't
No.
been. Oh man, that's wild. I guess we've gone on.
So Vegas and Hawaii are our
That's a-
two.
Yeah, Vegas
Killer
last
lineup.
year.
I will
Hawaii
go back
this
to
year.
Hawaii. I don't want to go back to Vegas with y'all. Love y'all, but I don't want to go back.
Same. I'm
Same.
I'm good for never.
But I keep wanting to ask y'all if we want to see Adele, and then I'm like, well, we don't want to go back to Vegas, but how else
Well,
do we get to
here's
see
the,
that
I
show?
tried to get tickets to that show, and the cheapest ones were like $400 each.
Yeah,
So
what's
it's
it
and
crazy?
just kidding.
Yeah, and where'd you?
Nope.
I mean, I love her.
I
She's
know,
awesome
but
live.
we don't have Vegas vibes, really.
We don't.
No,
We
I mean,
don't.
I did once in my life. I just
Yeah,
don't really.
not now.
anymore.
Yeah, no.
No. Where do we want to go next?
A resort.
Okay.
Mexico.
What kind?
I was just thinking I want to go.
Canada.
I think I want to do a resort or something for my birthday
Oh, okay.
for 40.
Okay.
So I don't know where.
Where are we gonna go?
I don't know. We got to figure that out.
Go
Got till the end of
Cancun.
January.
I've never been, and I feel like I still am thinking
You
about
went
it.
to Cancun?
I've never been to Mexico.
In the early 2000s.
Guys,
when
wow.
Cancun was-
Oh,
No,
okay.
I
Well,
think we
maybe
should go.
it needs
You
to
wanna
be
go to Mexico?
Mexico. Maybe it needs to be
Oh,
Mexico.
I love Mexico.
Okay, if
Same.
you own a resort in Mexico,
Yeah.
call your girl.
If anyone's got an Airbnb,
That's not a resort.
Listen, this worked
we
out
gotta
for
feed
resort.
ourselves
I
in
need
an
some-
Airbnb.
I
This
want
worked
like
out very well for us for Hawaii. So.
Yeah, to be fair.
I want some concierge services.
the kindness of others has really blessed us as a group.
A
That is
beverage
true.
delivered to the chair that I'm laying out
That's
on.
what
while
I'm
staring at
about.
the
Tell me
ocean.
something
About.
better.
Give me some French fries by a pool.
I need a swim up bar.
We'll get you one,
right.
but they've got those.
Yeah, so we need a
dolphin
resort,
spirit
not an
can-
Airbnb per
Yeah,
se.
okay, that's fine.
For your
That's fair.
birthday, because I want you to be able to relax.
Although if someone
and-
has a really great Airbnb, we might not totally turn it down.
That's true.
Okay, so just keep in touch.
Or,
Just
yeah,
anybody
you know,
that's out there.
or a house or
surrender.
anything. Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
open hands.
Wow, we're just all open. Everyone, open your hands for that.
Looks like it's the
What are we
benediction.
doing, Jamie?
Love travel. We'll accept free things.
We're manifesting. We
Oh,
don't
yeah,
believe
yeah.
in it. Don't believe in it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Not with
we'll
that
just see
attitude.
who comes a knocking with
Yes,
their
indeed.
Cabo or Cancun.
Positive
Houses
vibes.
Tulum. Are we cool?
Houses and men.
Now
Do you
that
have either of
Houses
those?
and men.
Houses and men. Do you have either of those for us? Thank you.
yeah,
I will
Lord,
receive.
please
One will
provide.
give back, one we won't. What else y'all think we
I
all
can't
share?
do Tulum. The last time I went there, I had an allergic reaction.
Do
you remember that
Oh,
one?
you're allergic to Mexico and you're
yeah.
allergic to Hawaii.
not
And
all
you're
of
allergic to
Mexico.
Louisiana.
I'm allergic to Louisiana.
Just Tulum. That
I'm
was it. It
allergic
was
to
something about the
Vegas.
rainforest.
What did you say?
I'm
Emotionally.
allergic to Vegas.
Oh, okay, great.
Jim, we gotta find a place you're
You're
allergic.
allergic to.
Haven't found it yet.
Still searching. Still searching. Do you have any up close friends that are as close as we are ish? You know, like that are best friend level that don't share our faith? Is that possible?
Yes, I do.
Is that so? That's possible for you
It
to
is
have
possible.
someone that close that doesn't share our faith.
Yes.
Is it hard, or are there things you don't talk about?
No, we pretty much talk about everything, but these are people that have been in my life for at least 10 to 15 years. So there is
Yeah.
a long, well, some of them, actually not all of them. Like
Have they?
I think
all
it's-
of them. Have they never had faith, or some have faith and aren't there?
I mean, it's a variety. It's sort of a variety. Some have no faith. Like I've got a couple of close friends that are atheists, and we just have to respect the other one's beliefs. And then like several friends that are Jewish. I mean, it's just kind of all across the board. So, or some that just say they're spiritual, but I couldn't tell you what that spiritual is.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it's just a matter of like respecting each other's differences.
Did any of y'all have close friends that aren't faith people?
Not super close.
Same.
Yeah. Because I do think that's one of the core things that makes us work
Yeah.
is that we always have like
starting
that.
point.
You know, we have like a, well, I know who you want to be
Yeah.
because I know what the end goal we all have, not heaven, but like redemptive lives and flourishing lives. And so I think that helps us along with our travel and Hallmark and all the things.
Yeah.
I also don't have any best friends that aren't faith people.
Yeah.
I don't have any new friends. I think I have like friends that I've known my whole lives that fall into that category.
Yeah.
But then there's also the like history shared
Yeah.
that sort of bridges a friendship. I don't know that I have any in the last that I've made friends in the last 5-ish years
Yeah.
that are really close. I have a lot of friends that are not,
Yeah.
but like super close friends. Yeah.
I think that's such an interesting point too, because Kelley, of all of us, is so good at making new friends. Like everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. And I think the rest of us I am, and my experience is the rest of us are just a little slower, part out of like, I don't have space. I don't quite have space. And I need to be with the people that know me versus trying to start over here,
I think you might be the friendliest of us though, Kel.
Yeah. You're the friendliest. of us.
Yeah.
That's not
Jen's
a slight
the
to
best of
anyone
us.
else.
No.
I don't know.
but
I'm offended,
Kelly's
actually,
the friendliest.
Oh goodness.
I used to feel like I had to be best friends with everybody. Like that was
me
very
too,
much the
Ash.
people pleaser in me.
Yeah.
And I sort of thought I thrived in it. But then I realized like I got burned a lot.
What does
And
that look like?
so-
What do you mean?
I mean, I think trusting people that I shouldn't have been trusting. And so then like whether it was betrayal or getting stabbed in the back or whatever, just people that I probably was to some degree, and especially like being in the music industry, it's like everybody, especially in Nashville, everybody knows everybody. When I lived in LA, still very much like Hollywood is still a very small community of people. And so, at least in my experience, but I think there was like that people pleaser where I just want to be friends with everybody and I'm the nice girl and so I'm going to be nice to everybody and we're all great friends, when really some of them weren't like deep, great friendships. They were very surfacey. And I think I thrive so much in the deep that I'm like, I got to a point where I'm like, this is actually not beneficial for my life. So I'm good with having the deep of like a core group of people and then keeping the surface other places if I need to. But also therapy helped that too, of realizing like I can't be everything to everybody.
Yeah.
So, or best friends with everybody.
Right.
It's a tier.
Or share your location with everybody.
Or share.
Right. So
I mean-
that's it. I get it.
I don't need everyone to know where I am all the time.
Just someone. Besides your own air tags.
circle.
Just like anybody besides your own stuff. So
I'll get I'm going to give you the password to my iPad, so if you can go in my
my
house and
iPad,
see
not
it.
my phone. But not at your house.
It'll be with
that's
me.
right. That's right. It's at your house.
That's
You're not
actually
getting the
a
password
way
to your
better
Kindle
plan.
though. That's those
I
brads.
don't even have a password.
No, that's open source.
Yeah, free for all.
Those are open source material. Come one, come all.
I'm obsessed.
The brads. Jen, what are the brads?
Brads are Beetrooted and Bubbly is on Instagram.
Excellent Instagram account.
Excellent. I think it's Bookstagram is what people call
Oh,
it.
Oh, get with it.
She follow her, I would say, for book recommendations. And she has created the term Brad for a subset of beach read kind of rom-com books, beach reads after dark. They just get a little spicier than your average beach read.
Yeah.
And she rates them so like you can decide how spicy you might want to get or not get. And this might be a crazy statement to make. I told you this already, I think. That I feel like in the last year I have started reading more books that would probably be equal to like a Hallmark level of content. Some spicier that are actually Brads. And I'm watching less Hallmark. Like
Yeah. I have definitely replaced my watching Hallmark with reading
which
the
I think
Hallmark
at least
genre.
I'm reading, which feels like it's slightly, better for my brain.
Right. That is really interesting. So also, how many of us are Kindle girlies? All of us?
No.
No.
I need to
I
high
am
five.
a new to the, like in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Got a Kindle.
I joined Kindle because of travel.
Yeah.
It was one summer I was reading the whole of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe series from C.S. Lewis. And I was like, I'm giving myself a backache with these heavy books that I travel with. And I was traveling all the time for work.
Technology.
And so I was given an Amazon gift card and I thought, I'm going to hate this, but I'm going to do it. And I'm telling you, it has changed my life. I think I read so much more because I have 9 minutes in a doctor's office. I read a few pages and, on a flight, wherever. And so,
Yeah. I still like get physical books from the library a lot.
You do.
But
You really love a library. It's
I
very
have-
inspiring.
I'm Libby on the library.
like 2019-ish, I feel like I in my budget meeting to myself was like, why am I buying all these books?
Yeah.
I can go to the library. And then during COVID, they just brought them out to your car. You didn't even have to go in there.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of got in the habit. And I have like a million books on hold that Beach Reads and Bubbly has recommended.
Yeah.
And when they show up, they show
Yeah,
up.
I max out on my Libby holds all the time, and then I have to
But with
negotiate
travel,
which one comes
I
in.
will
and-
try to last week I did take a book with me to Taos because I was in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But for travel, I'll try to switch. And all like the Brad books that I read are Kindle Unlimited, and those are just still on Kindle.
Yeah, and why are those on your
Shocking.
Kindle? You don't want the covers out
No,
there?
because you can't. A lot of them
No,
don't
I'm
even
not in
exist
the library. Like, you can't buy
physical.
the physical
They're
books.
they're digital only.
Yeah.
I've become obsessed with audiobooks on Libby.
Yeah, you really have.
Because I can be doing things around the house. I can be on a
You
walk.
multitask really well, though.
Yeah.
I couldn't be working and listening to an audiobook, or a podcast.
Yeah, that is an impressive thing
I can't.
about you, is you can
I'm not
multitask
absorbing that if that's happening.
Tell your two, besides your ability to multitask, tell your two superpowers.
Thank you for asking. I feel like everyone has an adult superpower. So I think that mine are, one, being able to get ready really quickly. Like,
It is impressive.
if someone
is.
says like,
Shocking.
You really pulled it off the other day.
Oh,
my goodness, for church on
that
Sunday,
was
I
like
really
the Jetsons. It's like
was-
she went
yeah.
into a machine and came out ready.
It was pretty wild. And then the other is that I just know when food is done cooking. And that sounds so insane because it's like, yeah, well, because you have a timer. No, I don't always
Your
use a timer.
spirit
I
knows.
just specifically salmon. And I hear myself.
Say at book club the other day. Say what you said at book club about when you're at other people's houses.
Oh, that I keep it to myself, but I do know.
But she's like,
you need to take
food
that
is
off.
done.
What if in the next 12 months you just start telling everyone was food was done so that everyone can learn your power and how to do it themselves?
Is it teachable?
Because the thing is I don't
know.
know. So if you said your salmon's done, I'd be like, great. Now it's not going to taste dry.
Well, and then I think like the way I like salmon, which is going to be a little like medium rare, then
Oh yeah, you do like
know what
it
I mean?
to still swim a little bit.
a little bit.
I want it to
want some
be.
fins.
I want it to be flaky and all white. Blech. Don't put any pink in there.
Nope.
That sounds fun.
Y'all have been saying to me a lot that you want to talk about aging. I hear you. I'm here for it. When it comes to skincare, Ritual is actually one of the things I use to try to take care of my skin. While I want to give into every skincare product ad on the internet, I'm sure you understand that. Did you know Ritual has a way for us to just swallow our skincare? I think that is so fascinating. Instead of a million different products to use, there's something new to just pop into your mouth and enhance your skincare routine from the inside out. It's Ritual's Hyacera, which combines hyaluronic acid and ceramides in a capsule you take daily. You've heard me talk about Ritual for a long time, and we're thankful because they have my go-to multivitamin. But when they said, we've also got something that will support your skin's health, I was like, yes, please. Hyacera contains two of the best clinically studied ingredients that have been shown to help hydrate skin all in one daily vanilla-scented capsule. And it has proven results in 90 days with ingredients included at their clinically studied doses. Aging like fine wine, addressing some fine lines and making your skincare a little simpler every day. Hyacera from Ritual is a skin supplement you can actually trust. Ritual is offering my friends 20% off during your first month. So visit ritual.com/thatsoundsfun to start Ritual or add Hyacera to your lineup today. Okay, now back to finish up our Build Your Board conversation with Jami, Ash, Jen, and Kelley.
That sounds fun.
That also makes me think that of a thing that I think is a good example of us is when we all kind of said, Kelley, take a month and say no.
Oh yeah.
And like y'all have
that
really
was such a
challenged me
long
on
month.
some stuff too.
summer?
And you need to sleep
ago.
more.
I know y'all
Yeah.
always tell me to go to bed. Yes. And really saying, Jen, you say it to me too. You said this year was about freedom. Prove it. Like, I mean, it is it is really helpful. But talk about saying no.
Well, I had this idea. I think I was feeling overwhelmed because I thought, man, I just feel so stretched thin.
Yeah.
Which shocks me you don't feel that right now with your schedule, because we all feel stretched thin with your schedule currently, but you don't.
No, I don't. And so you in particular, Annie, were like, okay, what if every time someone asks you to do something for them, unless it's to do something with them that you really, really want to do, that you just start with no? And
part of it is because you had 2 dogs in your house and you didn't want either of
I
them
don't
in
like
your
dog
house,
sitting.
and you don't like dogs.
But it's like, if I love the people, I want to relieve the anxiety of what are we going to do with this dog? So anyway, it started with say no to dog sitting. And then it was like, what if for an entire month? And I remember wasn't it July? Because it was like
July.
It was an exceptionally long month, and that felt really hard. But I was
Exceptionally long by one extra day.
Yeah, July's not that much longer, Kel.
but I had to say no.
Those 24 hours.
But here was my takeaway, was that I was offering way more than I was being asked. So it was very eye-opening, because I thought, man, I get asked for things all the time. No. I'm often offering. And so that helped kind of wake me up a little bit to, hey, I don't have to do things to be loved.
Which is one of the beautiful parts of your personality of always offering, but also the boundary of like, you need the space.
Well, I'd like to think that now if I offer, it's because I have reflected on margin, and if it would just like delight me just as long as just as well as delighting you. So
It's true. I appreciate that about you. I appreciate that you are. I mean, people can go back and listen to you in our Summer Lovin' series in June when you were on not the breakup. You were on the Enneagram one, and we talked about you being a 2, and how much that is built into you. What's, just for people who care, what is everybody else's Enneagram number, Jen?
I'm a 2.
Also a 2.
I'm a 1.
I always say you diagnosed me as a 7.
I died. No, did I?
We are.
But do
Yes.
you decide you're 7 too or no?
No, I did. I remember
When we
you were
lived
like,
together?
Yeah, you're like, you're a 7, and I was like, I don't know.
I
what
said it like
means.
that.
Wow. Because I was so anti the Enneagram. I'm pretty much like to do everything differently than most people. So when Annie and I were living together for a year, like I would hear her on the phone in the other room talking to someone like, he's an Enneagram 3 and you know male Enneagram 3s. And I'd be like, if you do not stop talking about the Enneagram, I'm going to lose my mind. And so anyway,
sounding
that's
like
a joke. What'd you say?
Over here sounding like a 4.
Because I was like, okay, so yeah, so that's always a joke. You diagnosed me.
Yes.
love it.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't be sorry.
We're very fun.
I know we are very fun.
I think that's interesting for people to hear too, that we kind of.
And we've all been on Enneagram
two
episodes.
sevens.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's
twos.
right. We've all been on Enneagram episodes. That's right. Remind me what summer you were. 21
Was it
on
last
Ennea
year?
summer?
I don't remember.
Yeah, we
was
didn't do
21.
We didn't do 22.
Oh, then it was 21. Yeah.
Right? You were 21. Jamie, you were, and both of y'all
We
were
were the
inaugural.
first.
Yeah, it was
19,
a very,
right?
very first Enneagram episode.
Yeah.
Hallmark gal.
Enneagram
Coming
one.
into
And,
that.
they're both on the Hall of Fun. Both of y'all have been 5 episodes or more. I know. We'll have to take you, right, Crickles? Are they both on it?
Craig,
so
can
we
you
gotta
get me on the
take you.
schedule for 3 more?
I'm at 1, so I have to
sorry.
tell you.
Today's
Today's Oh, today is 2. You're right. Okay.
Okay, what did we not say about friendship as adults that you think people might need to know about the 5 of us? Or
I mean, I think someone could probably listen to this and be like, oh, it just sounds like they're all like perfect. Like we are such different personalities. Like you don't have to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to I hope that's what someone takes away is like, we don't all believe the exact same things on every
Right.
single thing. Like Jen touched on that. Like we all like different
we're
things.
almost never attracted to the same people, men.
Almost never.
That's helpful. That's
Yeah,
a
it's
great.
very helpful.
Yeah, so we're not fighting.
We can all pick out each other's in a crowd. It's
Yeah.
Kelly.
Everybody has types.
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
I do think too that adult friendships don't necessarily need to look how you think they should look.
What does that
Yeah.
mean? Say more.
Like when I was in college, like how my friendships looked, and in my 20s, even our friendship now doesn't look like that. And I think it's okay that it's different.
Yeah.
In how often you see each other and how much you talk about and what it, like I think that there can be a lot of expectations about how friendships were and how friendships then need to be. So just the freedom to have that feel differently.
Yeah, because that may be what is making some of us feel so lonely in friendship is we're like, why don't my friendship feel like my college friends? Or now that I live in this town, why don't my friendships feel like my friends I grew up with? And if we remove that expectation, there's maybe friendship sitting right there.
And I think like with my friends that are married with kids, like there was a mourning period kind of in an adjustment period of like learning like what does friendship look like for us now. And there are some of those people, girls that are still like, they know we're not doing the daily stuff. Like we're not texting it on a Wednesday at 5 being like, who wants to go get Mexican? Like that's just not realistic for their life. But you can still invest and find time. It's just a little harder. Yeah. But I think the beauty of this that we have is because we are in the same stage of life, we can be the last minute everyday things. And I don't think one friendship is better than the other necessarily. Like but to your point of like expectation, I think you can get bogged down in like how it's not looking like you thought it would be. And then it almost makes you more lonely rather than like realize what you have and like.
Yeah. Because the Home Girls text still exists. It's not very active right now. But for a while we were doing dinner with all those girls once a month. And so that can still exist.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I like seasons.
And like when Kelley goes to South Carolina in January, February, like you're probably gonna get annoyed that you're still on our text messages. But
no, I won't.
No, she's not.
I'm nosy.
Or when you're in New York, like
there's
gonna be seasonal.
Yeah.
Well, I think too, it's like you talk about loneliness, like even in those, like there have been, like as you mentioned earlier, Annie, at times like where we've all felt lonely, even in like the five of us, like, and so I think about sometimes it just takes one person reaching out, because it's like the first drafts, the things that we can start telling ourselves or what we're spinning about. What does this person think? Or gosh, she said this, and she meant like. Just stop the spinning and just reach out and say like, hey, you want to go get dinner? Like it's really easy. Like there was a season in my life where it was really easy to be in my head about a lot of things. A lot of that was stuff I needed to work through. And realizing like, no, she's not thinking anything about me. She's just doing her own thing. So just reach out.
And that we are probably all, whether we're spinning that day or not, too.
Yeah, we're spinning someday.
If you'll be vulnerable, most likely the other person, one, it invites more vulnerability, but you're not the only one thinking or feeling
for sure
that way.
Yes. Yeah. Last night I was talking to our friend David, and he was like, it's an interesting question, because I was thinking, man, I'm having trouble thinking of an answer for how to make friends, because it feels like an area that I don't have a struggle. But then the interesting thing is, he was like, I kind of think it's the bigger question is how do you show up as a friend? Meaning like, I think there's opportunity to put yourself out there and to be vulnerable, maybe even, in anticipation of a close friendship. Like maybe there's someone that is at church with you every week and you say, hey, should we go grab lunch? And just kind of put yourself out there. That seems so daunting. But if what you're wanting is to be invited to lunch, putting yourself out there and inviting, or hosting people in your home if you want to be invited to someone's home and really to be with them, like really kind of risking it initially, which is,
or if there's something like you really want to go do, like, I don't know. For some reason today I was thinking about Arrington Vineyards and how I want to go to Arrington Vineyards before the end of the seasons, because it's so beautiful right now.
Gorgeous.
And I just love being in a vineyard. I mean, you know how much I love Napa. But anyway, Franklin's version of Napa.
Sure. Yeah, that's right.
But like, even if it's something that you just said, like, hey, you know what? On Sunday, I want to go to Arrington Vineyards. I'm just going to text the groups of people and see who wants to go with me, because, and you'll probably find somebody.
Yeah. That's when I wanted to see Meg too. I said, you guys, who wants to go see my shark movie?
Again?
And y'all said, nope. And Jamie said, I will. She was our tribute.
I think that there's something so big about that too, of the like freedom to say no without fear of not being invited. Because I think that there's been seasons of my life where I say yes to my own detriment. I'm exhausted. There's not actually room, but I'm terrified that there won't be another invite down the road if I say no to a thing. But like, kind of in line with my like best dating advice I ever heard is like, be exactly yourself. Like be a person who wants to go see this shark movie.
Thanks for all loving me when I wouldn't go to dinner with you in Hawaii.
That's a great example. Tell that, Jamie. That's a great example.
So we're all 5 in Hawaii. I'm not a foodie, like really experiential food things just don't do anything for me. And so one of the things that all 4 of you wanted to do was go to this really nice dinner, have this experience. And I was like, I don't want to spend that money. I'm going to go get a food truck meal and I'll be at the beach around the corner from where you guys are. And I'll see you after.
And we all had a ball. And then you show up with energy instead of like resenting
The fact that you're at this
spending.
dinner.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hundreds of dollars
And you
on it.
didn't, there was nothing that was like, well, Jami didn't experience that with us and therefore she is a lesser friend.
Oh my
I
gosh,
mean, there was
no.
nothing like that. It was like,
It's freedom.
and when we went to the beach versus the pool.
Oh, yeah.
Pool sharks versus beach.
We were Jets versus Sharks.
That's
like,
it.
what's that?
Pool jets versus
Pool
beach
jets.
sharks. That's exactly right.
Pool for life.
Yeah, pool for life.
Beach for life.
Sand for life.
Yeah, I think I thank y'all for that. I thank y'all that we have built a thing where we all get to say no.
Yeah.
I think that makes this feel safer versus feeling like you have to go and do everything.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for that. Okay.
I wish
Anything
we had
else?
talked more about dating because that'd be entertaining.
Yeah, what you got to say?
I don't know. I just can't think of anything, but it always makes me giggle when we start.
Oh my goodness.
Getting into
There's
that.
not enough time.
At a Q&A on the road this summer, my parents were there and someone in the Q&A said, do you ever reach out to men or something like that? And I'm saying, Jami, do I ever reach out to men? She's like, your parents are right here. I was like,
She had just slid into someone's DMs,
I
and so I
just
couldn't
recently
lie.
been
I'm like, do I
sliding.
lie or do I say the truth to her parents? I don't know what the right answer is.
Listen, Mr. and Mrs. F. Downs would be thrilled.
they're fine with the slide. They're
Pam
fine
and
with the
Tom
slide.
are here for the slide.
Oh, I love it. Okay, here's the last question we always ask. Kel, we'll start with you and work our way around. Because the show is called That Sounds Fun, tell me what sounds fun to you.
Oh my goodness. Driving around my car with 4 new tires.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that happened.
Or
Does that sound fun?
So did you get nails in every single tire?
3 out of 4. Bob.
So then why'd they replace all 4?
well, there's something to the balance of
Well,
it.
and if
it's like-
one's wore down enough, then you just need to do all 4 because one then will pop if you've got 3 new ones.
You didn't
No.
rotate. If you
What
hadn't
a-
rotated
what a
them
flex.
yet.
I've
What
got
a
these.
flex.
But also, my brother-in-law, when my sister and her fam came to town, he put some air in my little bike tires. So going on a little bike ride sounds kind of fun.
Speaking of buying 4 new tires, who's the richest person in this group?
Yeah, I was just going to say,
Freaking Kelley.
hire money.
experiences.
She,
rob
the
me.
amount of
You can save.
don't rob
I
me.
just like saving.
She
and it's
loves
not
saving.
like
Saving.
you think. It's just that it gives me so much delight to save more than buy something until it's tires.
That's brutal. All right, Jen, what sounds fun to you?
I've got 2 trips coming up that I'm very excited about. I feel like I was here all summer, not
Yeah.
traveling, which
Yeah.
was not the best. And I am now like in the midst of travel. And
Where are you going?
I'm going to Charleston with my mom and Lauren and her mom.
Oh, that's
That's so
Right.
fun.
And then mom and I are just going on a lot of travel.
Yes.
We are doing Vermont, New Hampshire the next week.
Oh, yes.
Is
I
that
need to
check
send
off
you
all your
my-
50?
No, I've got North and South Dakota, Alaska, and West
we need
Virginia.
you
Let's see if I can get.
Alaska
Let's
trip.
see if
You
I
want
can
to come
get.
to North Dakota with me
Virginia.
on early October?
Well, that's when I'm going to be gone with mom.
Oh, yeah, that's
We
right.
need to
That's
get
right.
me booked to speak in Alaska, Jamie,
Okay.
and then we can have a
Do
reason.
an
And then we're all
Alaskan
going.
cruise.
Yeah, I could do. I
Yeah.
could
Speak
get
on a cruise.
I'll speak on an Alaskan
It was
cruise
fun.
for
Alaska
us.
was very fun.
Yeah.
I'm hitting my 50th state in, I think when this airs, it'll be within the week.
Yeah, that's
So I'm
right.
going to hit all 50 states. And then Kel and I are going to Norway. We're going on what we're calling a pilgrimage because both of our great grandmothers moved from Norway.
Thanksgiving pilgrimage.
So, yeah, so
my dad's mom, so my grandmother.
Yeah.
Oh,
born in
grandmother.
north of the Arctic Circle, man.
yeah.
We're gonna go when it's like 4 hours of daylight and
Yeah.
aurora.
So we're
borealis.
going on.
homeland.
My homeland.
Go to your.
We kept calling it the Sarah Borealis when we were in Alaska instead of the Aurora Borealis.
That's very
So,
funny.
so anyways, travel.
Iker, what sounds fun to you?
I don't know. I need to plan a trip. Now that I'm listening to
Sounds like it,
everybody's.
huh?
We're going to a
trips.
resort in January, it sounds like.
I know. I need one before that. I mean, I've got to go to Houston for work in a couple weeks, but that's
Yeah.
You can have
That
some
doesn't
real good
count.
Mexican food.
that's true. Right now, I would like to
The
go.
real
to
stuff.
I would like to go eat
Languages.
something now. That sounds.
Hang
fun,
out with
yeah.
Richard and Susan. They'll take you.
I know.
good
I know.
spots.
That's true.
That's right. Well, thank y'all for doing this. I love y'all. This is
so
we are
fun.
very
Yeah.
lucky.
We are.
Yeah. Oh, you guys, aren't they the best? I love them. I'm sure you do too. And today, I'd love to know about your friends. Who are those women on your board? Tag them in the comments on today's post on my Instagram account about this episode and thank them for what they mean to you. And for a full list of all the resources and Instagram handles from our Build Your Board experts, go to anniefdowns.com/buildyourboard. You can also get the guidebook there so you can take notes and work through the questions. And just saying, all the girls in today's episode are single. So we did not link to their personal Instagrams on the resources page, but if you want to find them, I'll help you. So, they're amazing. So dudes, y'all should date these girls. They are awesome. So Ashley, Jen, Jami, Kelley, I'm just putting you out there, ladies. Let's go. If y'all need anything else from me, I'm embarrassingly easy to find, especially if you want to date my friends. Annie F. Downs on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or follow along on the That Sounds Fun Instagram at That Sounds Fun Podcast. I think that's it for me today, friends. Go out or stay home. Do something that sounds fun to you. I'll do the same. Today, what sounds fun to me is zipping up those suitcases because I'm heading out of Nashville tomorrow. So follow along on social media. I'll take you with me all the way to New York City. Y'all have a great weekend. I will too. And we'll see you back here on Monday when we're going to talk about what's the deal with counseling with one of my favorite licensed therapists, Melanie Rogers. We'll see y'all Monday.